I binged this wild K-drama, Silent Digs, in just 30 minutes flat. On the surface, she's this classy artist, but behind closed doors, she's a psycho demon queen. When she gets ruthless, she doesn't even spare her own kid. Alright, enough chit-chat, let's dive right in. The story's set deep in the mountain woods, and our main guy, Brother Chiang, runs a guest house out there. That day, just like always, he headed into town to pick up some supplies, but on the way, he unexpectedly came across a woman's car stuck in a pit. Brother Chiang's just one of those genuinely good guys, warm-hearted and honest to a fault. So of course, seeing a situation like that, he'd naturally get out and help. But when Chiang-gae got back from his shopping, he was surprised to find she'd already arrived at the guest house and wanted to stay. Normally, the inn only took in guests that came recommended, but seeing she was a single mom with her kid, but what Chiang-gae never could have imagined was that his kindness would soon plunge him into the darkest nightmare of his life. After getting her room sorted, the woman started carrying her luggage inside, but halfway there, she noticed a record player in the living room and asked Chiang-gae if she could listen to some music for a while. That instantly made Chiang-gae think of his late wife. Listening to vinyl was her favorite thing before she passed away, so that's why he's kept such a big collection of records as a tribute to her memory. The woman followed Chiang-gae down to the basement, where she picked out a record that looked like a real classic. By the way, I have no idea who the black guy on the album cover is. If anyone knows, please explain it in the comments. Let me learn a thing or two too. Back to the story. The two of them sat in silence, fully absorbed in the beautiful music. It was as if, in that moment, both were lost in their own thoughts. Outside, the rain poured down while the child played in it, a scene that suddenly stirred up a happiness Chiang-gae hadn't felt in years. But what struck him as strange was that despite the child playing outside for so long, the woman didn't seem to care at all. Worried that the boy might catch a cold, Chiang-gae brought him a towel and had him come back inside. So it looked like the woman and her child had left early. But there was one thing that really caught him off guard. He had never seen a tenant clean up the room before. Chang figured maybe the woman was just tidy, so he took the rent and got ready to leave. But just then, he suddenly heard that the record player was still running. As he went to turn it off and pick up the record, he was shocked to find his hand covered in blood. Cut to a scene from last night, where the boy and the woman are having dinner together. What no one expected was, they're not actually mother and son. The timeline shifts back to Chiang. He couldn't shake off the unease caused by the blood on his hand. He carefully inspected every corner of the room, but found nothing suspicious except for the record. It wasn't until he opened the bathroom door and was hit by the harsh, stinging smell of disinfectant that he realized a murder had taken place. To find out if the woman was the killer, he watched the footage from the car's dashcam over and over. Sure enough, he made a new discovery, but he planned to keep this a secret. But why? Since Ajan's motel was just nearby, he eagerly went over to try and bring in the business. Ajan was thrilled to get a guest during the slow season, so he had a few drinks to celebrate. He didn't wake up until 9 the next morning, when his wife came in for her shift and roused him. But barely had Ajan returned home when a murder took place at the motel. As soon as Ajan got the news, he immediately fired his gun.